All right, let's talk about creatine. Today, we're going to build the ultimate scientific blueprint for it. I'm talking exactly how it works, what the real research says, and how you can use it to get stronger and do it faster.
So let me ask you something. What if you could squeeze out, I don't know, two, maybe even three more reps on your absolute heaviest sets? Just think about that for a second. That's not just a good day at the gym. That's real, tangible progress. And that is the kind of potential we're diving into today. So to really get how creatine pulls this off, we've got to pop the hood and look at the engine room. We're talking about your muscle's high-speed fuel system, the very thing that powers every single lift you do.
Okay, so the secret to all that explosive power, it comes down to this one molecule, ATP, adenosine triphosphate. The easiest way to think about it is like instant cash for your muscles. When you go for a big, heavy lift, your body spends ATP. It's the only currency it accepts for that kind of immediate energy. But here's the kicker. You've only got a few seconds worth of it stored up. So, what happens when you run out of cash? Well, this is where creatine swoops in. Check out this cycle. You lift, and that high-energy ATP turns into a low-energy version called ADP. It's like a dead battery. But then, your stored creatine phosphate jumps in, hands over its phosphate, and bam! It instantly recharges that ADP right back into fresh, usable ATP. It's like having a super fast ATM right inside your muscles, just spitting out energy so you can crush more reps. Okay, so we get the science, we get the engine, but how does all that lab code stuff actually translate to real-world gains in the gym? Let's talk performance. You want a number? How about this one? A massive review of studies showed that people using creatine consistently saw their weightlifting performance jump by an average of, wait for it, 14%. Look, in our world, where we fight tooth and nail for every single pound on the bar, 14% is absolutely insane. That's like adding 20 pounds to a 150-pound squat. That is a total game changer.
And hey, it doesn't even stop there. All that extra ATP means you can handle more work, right? More quality sets, more reps, every single workout. Plus, it hydrates your muscle cells, giving you that fuller look. It can boost anabolic hormones like IGF-1, and it even helps cut down on muscle breakdown, so you're recovering faster. It's literally attacking strength and size from all angles.
All right, the science is solid. The benefits are undeniable. So the big question is, how do you actually use it to get these results? Well, consider this your ultimate user's guide.
So the science basically gives us two roads to the same destination, getting your muscles fully saturated. You've got the loading protocol on the left. That's the fast track. You take about 20 grams a day for a week, and you're there. Then there's the daily dose protocol on the right. This is the simpler, steadier route, just 3 to 5 grams a day, and you'll hit that same saturation point in about 3 or 4 weeks. So, which one's better? Honestly, the science says the best one is the one you'll actually stick with.
And that right there brings us to the golden rule, the most important thing to remember. Forget about loading versus not loading. Forget about timing it to the minute. What really, truly matters is just taking it every single day. That's how you keep those muscle stores topped off and ready to go.
Okay, here's a little pro tip for you just to optimize things a bit. We know consistency is king, right? But some studies hint that if you take your creatine with some carbs and protein, you might get slightly better absorption. It kind of piggybacks on the insulin response. So an easy way to do this, just toss it in your post-workout shake or have it with a regular meal. Simple and effective. All right, let's get into it. We've got to address the elephant in the room. A supplement this popular is going to have a ton of myths. And let's be honest, just bad information floating around. So it's time we bust some myths and separate the actual science from all that gym floor fiction. And we have to start with the big one. Probably the most common fear you hear. Will creatine wreck my kidneys? So what does the mountain of research actually say? The verdict is in, and it is crystal clear. Safe. For anyone with healthy kidneys, taking creatine at the recommended doses is safe. And I'm not talking about 1 or 2 studies. We're talking decades of research, including long-term studies, that have found absolutely no evidence of harm. Okay, next myth. This is the one that gets debated to death in every online forum. Does creatine make your hair fall out? The verdict on this one? Very, very unlikely. Look, this entire scare came from one single small study a long time ago that saw a bump in a hormone called DHT. But here's the thing. Major, large-scale studies have never been able to replicate that or find a direct link. So here's the bottom line from the people who actually study this stuff. If you aren't already genetically prone to hair loss, creatine is not going to cause it.
All right, and what about the bloat? The idea that creatine just puffs you up with a bunch of useless water weight. Is there any truth to that?
This is a huge misunderstanding of how it actually works. Yes, creatine makes you hold water, but it's where it holds it that matters. It pulls water into your muscle cells. That's a good thing. It's literally a sign that it's working. This is what gives you that fuller, harder, more pumped look. We're talking cellular hydration, not that soft, puffy bloat that sits under your skin.
So we've gone through the science, the how-to, and we've busted the biggest myths. What's the final verdict? Let's boil it all down to the key takeaways.
So here it is, the blueprint, nice and simple. First, creatine is proven effective. We're talking hundreds of studies backing it for strength and power. Second, the gold standard is still creatine monohydrate. It's the most researched, most effective form out there. Third, it is safe for healthy users, period. When you use it as directed, the safety profile is excellent. And fourth, consistency is everything. Taking it daily is way more important than what time you take it. Put it all together and you have a seriously powerful tool to amplify the results from all your hard work. So I'll just leave you with this question to think about. After seeing all the science, could creatine be that missing piece of the puzzle for your training? Remember, science is always evolving. To avoid missing the next scientific analysis and protocol, don't forget to turn on notifications and subscribe. See you in the next video. Let's meet in the comments to discuss what topic we should cover next.